Hello, everyone. Today we are doing the painting by Japanese painter Hokusai and his most famous painting called The Great Waves. And interesting that, of course, we see the huge wave, we see also the boats with people that are struggling. But one of the main things here is also the Fuji mountain. So it's basically here a bit like you don't notice it at first, but when you keep exploring the painting, then you see. And the Fuji mountain, of course, is a symbol of Japan. So he suited it also there. We're definitely going to do the wave, and we're going to explore his a little bit like also graphic way, the way he did this painting, like with all those endings. Yeah, so maybe even with black pen or marker in the end, we can do those touch-ups. And here in the middle, you can actually choose what you would like to do here. So it doesn't have to be the Fuji mountain. You can think maybe of any other thing. So it could be your style painting. Super. So we started with a pencil sketch, and I advise you, as usually, we explore a little bit the composition of this painting. Yeah, so you have also the rectangular paper, and let's analyze. So here the wave starts kind of in the middle of the paper, and it goes down, and this takes almost the full page. Yeah, so this is already gives us the directions, and here we are leaving this empty space, but almost like a bit more than a half page. Yeah, awesome. Let's go. So we can mark somewhere here, yeah, of the page up. This will be the uppest point of our wave. But here it's going to be like going slowly down, yeah, to the side. Nice. And somewhere here will be all those fluffy parts. We're going to draw them later. First, we're going to draw the bigger mass of the wave. So here we will have this huge circular part. It's easy to draw when you mark the start and you mark the end. So from somewhere here, and I'm marking, okay, I need to come here back to the middle. And then when I know where I need to start, I need to come back. Then for me, it's easier to draw. Doesn't matter if it's a straight line or it's a curvy line. No? And I can... So these first simple lines, but very important for the whole painting composition, because if you do it too small, let's say you leave too much space for the sky, then the wave won't look so huge. Yeah, and the objective here is exactly the huge wave. I even gonna correct here a bit. I'm gonna go a bit more like open. And there's a little tiny like change, but and then I said all those fluffy stuff over the foam we're gonna draw as we proceed. Yeah, the only thing maybe I can just mark very lightly with my pencil, just general, let's say, shape of those of the white water of the wave. Yeah, so yeah, just the space I've marked like where they're gonna be. Yeah. And here at the bottom we have another part of the wave. And somewhere, and here also interesting, here at the side they connect with this white water. So I think it's also a nice thing that artists did. Yeah, and here again, I'm just marking a bit where going to be the, and so this upper line is from the upper part of the wave, and here we have a few more lines. Let's see. Hokusai became very famous in Europe because it was the times when finally Europe and Japan geographically they started to have connection, like trading and all those. It was more possible already to travel. So because before, due to the distance, it was very difficult, and like the artists who lived in Europe, they knew nothing about what's going on in China, in Japan, and other parts of Asia, and the otherwise, yeah. And then the connection was started to be easier due to the traveling by the sea and so on. So art also traveled, and yeah, then the Hokusai was one of those Japanese painters who was really beloved in Europe. Okay, so we have the main shape. Let's go now to do those stripes. This is also something, let's say, a bit graphical touch. Yeah, by graphic I mean, so it's not that realistic, but still it's interesting. Yeah, so all here inside we can make just like stripes. Feel free to make them different, or like please make them different. So one thinner, one thicker, so they don't look all to the same. So the stripes in this upper part and the bottom wave as well. Yeah, so under. Here we have something like, so there are more the stripes, and here it's a bit like such a curvy line. So we can take a look here. Yeah, some more like. And I think exactly those ornamental shapes between white and all those blues, something that gives us the also this feeling of the wave, of course. Like I did. So here on this part I did like the stripes. Yeah, doesn't have to be like really perfect, just I mean we're gonna use paints and yeah. And on this side, in those emptinesses, we just go playing with the curvy lines. Cool. Yeah, thumbs up. Ready to continue? Okay, good. Okay, then let's check again. So we have the Fuji mountain. We have few boats. So if you want, we definitely also do the boats. And you see, it's also like this cloud. You see very little difference in color. So it's like very light yellow and this light pink, peachy color, but still it gives a little nice, yeah. And then also the background. So yeah, I mean, we can do the original Fuji mountain. Yeah, and it's not very big. So maybe even the one I did is already a bit too big to the. So just like 2 lines up to the drawing. Here. And the boats. So the boats we can do also a bit like pointy. You see, it's also like almost like a triangle. So maybe one here, a bit smaller, so it doesn't cover Fuji too much. Yeah, we can also like a bit. And I'm gonna do like maybe one boat here, and here I do just the circles for the people, not just as the feeling of the heads. One boat is there. Then we have here, I don't know, I think here it's painted a bit like already maybe half broken, so the wave already got the boat. But a bit similar like this first. So just like a triangle popping out from the wave, and some circles. This can be the circles a bit more bigger than there. So we also play a bit with this perspective. So what's closer to us is bigger. And then we would have here also another nose of the boat. Yeah, so a bit I simplified the boats, and his painting is they're a bit more like elaborated with details, but we're gonna just give the feeling that there are boats, but in general we're gonna concentrate on the wave, making the wave more cool. And basically we can already move to the paints. So let's also make a plan. What should we do first? So as usually our process is from light to dark. And I suggest we start with the sky, with the background. I wouldn't even draw with a pencil the shape of this cloud. So just we're gonna put maybe even first this pale yellow, leaving even about like half white part. And then we're gonna do this peachy part, and we're gonna come back this with the bit darker part. Here maybe I would like to change the color. Here it's a bit, let's say, something browny greenish, but let's see. Maybe we went a nicer tone, not so dark for this. Yeah. So yeah, with light colors, it means very little yellow and more white to have the yeah, this very pale part of I'm putting a bigger pile of white. And as I mentioned, a tiny bit of yellow. And as usual, when you mix the paints, don't mix all at once. It's always better to go 2-3 times. Yeah, so I mean, like I have now my white. So I take a tiny, tiny bit of yellow, like at the end, at the edge of my brush, and then mix it. And then I see, oh, it's already kind of, you know, getting strong. So like this, I have more control. Yeah, and if I need more, I go more. So especially with also with blue video like this, when we need a color for yeah, so here my very, very pale. Yeah, and it's important, don't do the bright yellow because we will have this peachy tone. Yeah, and this is the way it plays exactly in this difference of tone. Yeah, tone is how light or dark is then. Yeah? And then so before going to the paints, almost forgot, I lighten up a bit the pencil so it's not so strong. And I'm sure you're familiar with Vincent van Gogh, the Dutch painter. Yeah, and so it was those times, so it was times of Vincent van Gogh when, as I mentioned, like the Asian world got more connection with Europe. So, and he was a very big fan of Hokusai. He would has his prints. Yeah, so it was also in Japan, it was more popular to do paintings and to have prints of them already. Cleaning well all the eraser leftovers. Yeah. And then of course we start with this yellow part, and we can like invent by ourselves with the shape of this cloud. Yeah. So all this part here at the bottom. Yeah. And you see my yellow now is very pale, so it's almost like you can barely see it. But it's important to have this difference, because if I have bright yellow, then I put also this peach on top, then it won't have this effect, this game. And I will even bring now here this yellow till the Fuji, so till the end. Yeah, because any darker color we're gonna put on top, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna cover it. Yeah, so. See, very, very pale. And I find that when people begin painting, some people find it hard to paint with very light colors, with pale, like in the meaning of mix. So I'll just close this part. Yeah, so just I have colored and I gave the shape to the. Cool. And then the part of the sky, here it is, it's peachy. So you remember, peachy is generally orange with white, yeah? So if you already have orange, cool, you can go straight to that. If you don't, then it's basically also yellow with pink. And it means, and if you don't have pink, then basically it's yellow, red, and white. Yeah, so you make orange with usual mix of yellow and red. And then again, to have it light, you do the, you add white to it. So I'm gonna add a tiny bit of red already to this mix that I have here. And I need it again, I need it a little tiny bit. And here I already have all these pinkish. Yeah, and then I evaluate. If it's too pinkish, then it means I need to add a bit more yellow. But I think I'm fine with this, yeah. And we put again, and we see, for example, maybe still a bit more. My color is not that intense because I had here too much white and it makes no contrast. So as I was talking to you that the difference in tonality, yeah, so here a lot tone, so each color has its tone, and it just means, is it light or dark? And then when we creating a painting, then it's important we use different tones, otherwise the painting will look boring. But it's also important where we use it, yeah? So let's say we're putting the darkest tone, so the darkest color. So next to it, we should put something very light. Then it looks good. Oh, now I have a bit too dark. And then I can either just use water to lighten it up a bit, or I can use also white paint. It also often happens that like we mix something on the palette, and when we go with the brush to the painting, it looks differently. There are options. If you're quick, you can correct like immediately, just by, let's say, cleaning your brush and removing, you know, the intensity with the water with a clean brush. Also, paper towel works. But since acrylics, they're drying really fast, you can always then just wait till it's dry, and you can put white paint on top, and you can do corrections. Corrections are done then easier once it's dry. So I had my sky. Looks a bit more dark than the original one. So then I'm gonna do exactly what I was talking just now. I'm gonna give it a little moment so it's dry, and I'm gonna work with white paint on top, so then you see the way you can correct it. Okay, I think I can do what, so I take my brush, again, I take some clean white. Yeah, and in this case, my white should be watery, so my brush, and then I can like make it a bit inside here. Also, like use it to remove a little bit the border between the cloud and here I can use also paper towel, but, yeah. And if I need, I can lighten a bit, yeah. But the brush needs to be like watery, so I'm putting white, but yeah, and you see, oops. So it can also be like, oh, then you say, okay, too much, too white again. And then of course you can start like a bit adjusting. But it's possible, yeah. So you see here, this is the way how you can lower, because to make it darker, it's always easier. But to make it lighter, sometimes we struggle. And here, okay, nice. But definitely don't spend too much time on the sky. Remember also the rule that the more brush strokes, like the more, let's say, tired your artwork might look. So we're gonna leave the background just a bit you know, neutral, yeah, because the main hero, of course, is the wave, and it should serve there the let me know, girls, when you're ready with the sky. Oh, you're so quick, you're ready. Wow, nice. Well, then I go more quickly on my side. Okay, let's take two blues. Yeah, pretty much simple. We need a darker blue and lighter blue. So, and then what you can do, you can either have two different ones. Usually you have in the set, but you can also just take one, and I would prefer this way. And so use original, let's say, for the dark, and then mixed with white to use for lighter. And why I prefer this way, I'm taking two different, because in this case, it will be the same by this color pigment, because blues are so very different. We have ultramarine blue, we have cobalt, phthalo, all kind of different blues. And they all have different, this, the pigment, you know, how blue they are. And so in this way, I keep the same blue, just making, again, different tone, keeping it light and dark, yeah. And remember, again, you don't need much blue to mix with white. So much more white, less blue to get your lighter tone. And as usual, of course, I suggest we start with lighter strokes. Here they go like one by one light, one dark. So first you can prepare your light mix, and then you just go and do the light strokes. And why like this? Because like you don't have to be too careful at this moment. You can even, let's say, color all if you want with light, and then go with dark on top, yeah? So now I can go a little bit also over the lines. It's fine. And then later, when I will go with them, darker, then I will be a little bit more careful, of course. So then the left side has those stripes. And the right side of the painting, we're also going to use those both light and dark stripes, but they're going to be not in a stripe shape, but they're going to be in a those. So here it goes like a bit in steps, white, light blue, and the dark blue. So those curvy lines we did, we're gonna like go inside with the let's say the rest part we're leaving also for here a bit like a snake shape. Yeah, and it also gives us a bit the difference. So those vertical stripes, it's still the part where the wave is in the vertical position. And here it's already when the wave broke and nice. You can maybe it's not even so necessary to wait a lot for light blue to dry. And this is actually also the one of the painter skills. So one of these, you feel how much water you need. So should your brush to be like more dry, more wet, because for each part is the different. And same also with when to continue. So sometimes I need to wait till some part is dry completely to continue, but sometimes the opposite. I want it still to be a bit more wet as the paint, and with yeah, and when I need for paints to be more like to mixed, or to have this connection, then of course I don't wait till they're dry completely. Yeah, I would say it's a bit more important when painting with watercolors. Yeah, this is really kind of one of the base of the way you work. In acrylics, not so much, but still, if you do the blending, then definitely you want the colors to connect. Yeah, and acrylics drying fast, so you need to be aware. Don't also worry if the stripes are not coming perfectly. Remember, we're also going to have this white foam on top, and with this we'll be able to correct what's some imperfection. Also, like in the use of water. So if you use more water, then you have, of course, a bit more transparent the color you put. And there again, so if you want the intense color, then you need to wait for it to dry and put, let's say, second, sometimes even third layer. So sometimes you can do it at once, yeah, then you don't have much water, more dry brush, intense paint. Yeah, so now here with all those stripes, a bit delicate, the work with the brush. So here it's also important to use the size of the brush that is comfortable to you. So how to use the size of the brush? Just by the size of what you're going to be painting. Yeah, so when it's sky, lots of empty area, then you can easily take a big one. Yeah, once you see, okay, I'm doing the stripes, thin lines, then you go for the brush that is comfortable. Nice. I'm gonna take, so basically from colors, what's left? There is black color that is the lower part of Fuji mountain, yeah. And then the color of the ships. It's actually very similar, I've noticed only now, to color of this peachy sky. Maybe a bit more intense, a bit darker. Yeah. And then, of course, we're gonna try to do these also lines and outlines. Actually, now I ask myself, is it from here where Vincent also got this idea? Because Vincent van Gogh was doing a lot this kind of making black outlines in his paintings. And yeah, and here we can see also this. So it's painted, but then a bit like a contour, you know, but of course not everywhere. And this is also the, let's say, important rule. If you do it everywhere, then it's going to end up a bit like the comic style. So the style for, you know, the other type of art. But here it's more just a bit doing where the accents are. I have put here a bit too dark black. So I'm trying to lighten up a bit. And here very easy. So first I did all black. Then I said, the top I want a bit more light. So just with watery brush, clean water brush, and make it there a bit more wet, and with paper towel I could remove the yeah, because going towards the snowy part of the mountain, of course it looks a bit more grayish than the bottom. And now actually I have understood why. First I was doubting if to do this dark, let's say foggy part around the mountain. But if you don't do this, then it's not so visible. You see, then on our light yellow background, the whiteness of Fuji kind of disappears. So yeah, we need to do there some color, but I really should think, because definitely not black, because black will make it very dirty. Yeah? Black color, always be careful using it. Here is something like, I'm gonna put a dirty, yeah, dirty green or something. Yeah, sometimes it's already when you're a bit towards the end of painting, and then you have some colors left on your palette, and even those sometimes can be. I know, here, this color we can use. So I have dark blue with a bit of brown, and then it gives a bit this, the color I like, grayish blue, but definitely using a bit more water, and definitely more water, you know. So still it kind of, you're seeing it pretty much transparently. You see, this is very, and this is why actually it's good to paint, like try to copy the masterpieces, because only when you start doing it yourself, then you realize some moments, yeah, because you just look at the painting, you say, okay, yeah, it's pretty, and maybe you study some parts, but to explore how it's done, or let's say why this fog here behind the Fuji mountain is important, and because it, yeah, brings the Fuji to front, it makes it more visible. But again, the technique there has to be very subtle. You can't put just a black or very dark spot there. It has to be as neutral as the background we were putting in the start. And it's something, of course, the you as an artist keep on gaining with practice and experience. Yes. That's nice. Okay, I'm gonna go for the boats. Yeah, girls, let me know if too quick or you need some help or to wait, or I know you are experienced painters, but anyway, anything, just ask. Okay, I made again this a bit similar to this peachy color, but maybe a bit darker for the boats. And here again, like the boat that is in front definitely can be the darkest. And the rest can be a bit also lighter because they're more far away. Nice. I think more or less my part is ready. The only left is then all those curvy waves of the foam, curvy lines. Yeah, and I think this is something that makes it again, like, yeah, if we compare now, yeah, with and without. Yeah, and this is the moment when definitely you want those parts to be dry, because going with a, let's say with a pen or marker on top of paints doesn't work, ruins the marker. So what else you can do, but now it's already like you need to decide accordingly how your painting looks at this moment. And if you feel you're missing a bit whiteness, for example, there where we did the stripes, so you can do a bit more fluffiness here, but also careful, like be sure the blue parts are dry. And here I kind of go a bit out, you see, and I do a bit the dotting with white. Yeah. So, because what we did just like the oval parts, the circles for there where the foam would be. But now we kind of break a bit this shape to make it more irregular, fluffy. Yeah, and still we're gonna have the, I'm just basically like dotting a bit and fluffing the. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry. I feel still it's a bit wet. Yeah. Meanwhile, one can also prepare your black pen. So search for, also check, you know, like the black pen, the black marker, check how is it writing. And, so let's say, yeah. So what you want to check? So let's say you have some black marker or pen. Definitely we need to check how it's writing, if it's good, you know, or it's ending soon. And we also want to check the thickness and the way, you know, it gets blurred. So like, let's say if you accidentally touch it by finger, does it, you know, ruins the thing. So, and of course we practice a bit the shape of all the waves, yeah. So check which black.
And then I just have to do like the outlines of the wave.
Oh, no, nice. You're also getting very quick today. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, wow, Ellie, the sky is perfect. Yeah, the sea is also looks very like the movement. You can feel the boats are moving. Excellent. I'm so impressed. You're really improving your painting skills. Good job today. Yeah, so let it rest. So then when we go now with the black ink, it's dry and cool and very well. You did what I was talking about, tones of the sky. Yeah, so it's not too dark. Cool, I'm gonna leave here by the side so you can also like keep on checking the, yeah, and you see, so here also a bit thicker the outline. So there are like two darker outlines here at the top of the waves, giving a bit the shape. And then here are all those curvy lines. And of course, like if you feel a bit unsure, take the page, practice a bit, all those basically like this, like just take a look and try to copy one or two. Yeah, and then you're gonna just train your hand. Yeah, I also do it always when I need to draw birds, like tiny birds flying in the sky. And even I already did it before. I usually still take a little piece of paper and train my hand just in the moment prior putting on my painting, because then the hand kind of gets the idea, gets the like, and it's also not less scary to go to the painting when you already have played. Yeah, so no rush, I have time. Okay, also would be good maybe if you just start with this the upper part of the wave, so it's also kind of gives you the moment to get used, okay, how your pen or marker is working in your painting. And then slowly we can just and don't try, let's say, to copy all of them. The more important is you checking how it looks, particularly in your painting. So maybe you're gonna have just less those shapy strokes, yeah, but it gives more like better look to particularly how your painting looks. Yeah? Because of course, imagine the original painting was much bigger, yeah, and we are doing it just on A4 paper sheet. So of course, then again, well, I've started with the main one. Again, maybe if you still feel a bit unsure, just go and start practicing those shapes on some smaller, like on the parts that are somewhere here on the side, less visible. And then when you go to this main wave, then again, your hand is more practiced. Yeah, and definitely no rush, like don't try run with your hand. Take step by step. And basically they are all more or less to one side, but still somewhere from time to time, the direction of them is being changed. And it also looks good, yeah, because it gives because the foam usually is this kind of fluffy. And another thing again, don't be worried if like doesn't look or something happened, doesn't look perfect. You have always paint, you can always you know, just put paint on top, like if there are some dark lines didn't work out. See here, my side I've noticed, I've placed a bit wrongly the boat, but it's okay. I can put here a bit of the foam. And also what he has here, the notice, for example, okay, I already did those parts. Still, this painting looks a bit more kind of interesting, fluffy. And look here, he has those little dots with the white paint. Looks a bit like snow. So it also gives it like splashes, yeah, and it gives the movement as well. So we already have the movement of the wave, everything, but still those a bit huge. It's okay, a bit smaller. And both on the wave, of course, on yellow they don't look so strong. It doesn't matter a bit here. Yeah? I can do a bit of white.
I think I'm done.
Yoo-hoo! Let me check. Good one. Yeah, was it hard to do the outlines?
It was kind of hard. I think I did it a little bit too like up there.
Yeah, I see, but I find it very good the way you did. Yes, and you remember, if something you don't like, you can always cover up. And but I think you don't need it. Nice one. So you can also let's also write the name of the painter. Yeah, because we thank him for using his painting to practice, to study. I'm gonna write his name now. So you also can write maybe somewhere on the other side of the painting. You know.
How do you spell it?
So yeah, let me spell it for you. So his name is Hokusai is his, let's say, surname. And the name, let me recheck quickly because it's a bit more complicated. Here. So Hokusai, and the name, but usually everyone knows him just by Hokusai, it's enough. But if you are curious, then also name Katsushika Hokusai. Yeah, and he was born from 1760 to 1849. So basically, it's the end of the 18th century, start of the 19th century. And imagine till nowadays, his painting is famous. And then you definitely can type his name in Google and you see lots of other paintings he did. Yeah, it's particular Japanese style, but also for Japan, I would say it's not so usual. So yeah, nice, good one. I'm also being. I'm gonna maybe finish a bit more of those wave parts here. Gonna have the names so you can see. Cool. And also, girls, if you see somewhere painting you really like, you can always like we can continue. Maybe sometimes study and copy the famous artists. Always useful. I mean, sure we can paint general topics what we want, but in a studying purpose, it's definitely useful for art. Mhm. Yeah, I like alternate. Well, and in this painting, again, so it has kind of two names. So the big official name is Under the Wave of Kanagawa. Not sure if it's more the city or the placement, but in generally, everyone knows this painting as the Great Wave. Yeah. Lilith, how was your?
I'm waiting for mine to dry because the paint still looks wet.
Okay, to do the black ink. Nice, very good. Yeah, take your time. Definitely not in a rush. I'm also gonna go and do some bit more touch-ups. Something somewhere you can do a bit also darker those lines. It's a little bit more. And this painting belongs to the series of 36 views of Mount Fuji. So as I say, it's actually not the wave, the most important hero here. It's the Mount Fuji. And Hokusai, the painter, he did 36 different paintings where you can see the Mount Fuji. And this is just one of them. Yeah? So this is also interesting to explore other paintings of him. Yeah? Cool. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording here, but we're definitely gonna stay here and see. I wanna see how Juliet's artwork went out.